May 20th is the day that the country of Georgia recognizes as a day of remembrance for the slaughter of the Circassian tribe. My grandmother is one of the survivors of this genocide. She was born in a work camp that was liberated by America at the end of World War II. She was born in this camp in Germany because her family, as political prisoners, was sold off by Russia to the Germans. And when the camps were liberated, her family was relocated to Turkey, where they were able to reunite with some family, thank God. Because she was born in a camp, they have no idea what day she was born on. The officers in the camp gave her the birthday of January 1st. For all we know, though, she could have been born months, weeks later. It's just that every single unknown Jane Doe baby was given the birthday of January 1st. She lived in Turkey until she was around 17, and then her family immigrated to the US. When they moved here, she met my grandfather, who was from Afghanistan. They fell in love, got married, and popped out 4 kids. Decades later, here I am. My grandmother has been suffering severe PTSD during the rise of this current administration because it parallels everything that her family fled from and that everything my grandfather fled from. She was an extremely powerful, feisty woman for a very long time, and she was one of those old ladies who maintained her hair color well into her late 70s. We're talking she was blonde from 16 to the age of 80. No changing at all. She would do her own hair in her bathroom. She looked like she barely aged because, she's this woman who speaks 7 languages, who coats herself in coconut oil every night to sleep. So she never aged. I just don't understand it. She's walking around in her late 70s, looking like she's barely brushing 60. It's kind of insane. I hope that gene gets passed down to me. But something about Trump being reelected has completely broken her, and it's given me a lot of emotions I don't know how to process. An atrium of her heart collapsed because she's been having so many panic attacks, and she's 80, or she turned 80 January 1st. We don't know if she is actually 80. That's another devastating thing. We assume she's 80. She's 80 now, and an atrium of her heart has collapsed because she has so many panic attacks. She will regularly call me or text me with some really, really dark, horrific advice, but it's advice that she knows and she's lived through. When she lived in Turkey with her family, she moved around a lot and was around a lot of very intense war carnage in that area of the world for a while, including her bedroom being bombed when she was young. She was not in it. She's obviously here, but, she's been around a lot. She also was a woman who worked in international trade, one of the only women who was a CEO in international trade in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And because of that, she's also seen a lot of stuff. She's gone to almost every country on earth, including ones that don't exist anymore. She has traveled everywhere, seen all types of things, war zones, starving children. She's seen it all. She has survived terrorist attacks, mass shootings. She's kind of a badass, I will not lie. But something about seeing a parallel of the men who destroyed her tribe, it's really broken her in a way that's been really devastating to watch. And she would kill me if she knew I was making this podcast episode. She's a very proud woman. And ever since she's kind of fallen into this sickness and this spiral of PTSD, she hasn't really wanted to see anyone because she doesn't want anyone to remember her like this. But I think it's important we talk about her being like this because this is what this administration does. This is what this administration is paralleling. This woman who was born in a work camp sees her genociders in this man, in this administration, and that should not be ignored even for a second. She has done everything in her power to ensure that her kids and then her grandkids, me and my sister, that we don't have to live through anything she lived through. And my grandfather did the same. He left Afghanistan and worked his ass off as a professor to make sure none of us went through what he went through. And it looks like we might have to. And I think it's really breaking her. And if my grandfather was still alive, I'm sure it would be breaking him too. If there's something in you that is struggling when it comes to bravery, when it comes to standing up to this administration, when it comes to resisting, when it comes to protecting yourself, when it comes to protecting others, if you are having fear as your motivator instead of anger, if you are having fear as your motivator instead of hope, if you are having fear as a motivator instead of bravery, then I just wanted you all to hear about my grandmother, and I wanted something about her to inspire you to do something today to change the course of history. It's really hard watching my grandmother die because of this man. She's on Social Security, that won't exist anymore. She's on Medicaid, that won't exist anymore. And I'm watching her inner child die over and over. And I just don't think I'm ever going to forgive this administration for that. ever.